Okay. My favorite story. I just read some story about Gatewood Galbraith. His favorite story. My favorite story. Why did I say any of this? Why can't I just get to the point? Okay. Gatewood Galbraith. When I read about Gatewood, that we had a Gatewood Galbraith in Kentucky, I was so tickled to death that we had somebody that was actually speaking truth to power. And he was saying everything was right. He did start pandering to the Tea Party, but he was more Democratic than what I had thought he was, and so he was right on the money. He was Huey Long. Kentucky had their Huey Long, and we still didn't, choose him. But anyways, I was excited about him, and I wanted to work on the campaign. I was working with Nader, and I know some things about politics, so I wanted to get on board, give a Gatewood campaign, and I didn't know if he was going to run, but I wanted him to run, and then I wanted him to have me on his campaign when he did run. So this is 3 years, this is 2009. So I went to Lexington, and I'm talking to him, and I dressed up too. I put in a tux, I put in the suit or the tie, I did the whole works, did my hair and everything, and I had a little plan, and I didn't have it all typed up as organized as I wanted to, and I really couldn't offer as nearly as much as what I wanted to. I did move to Lexington, but I couldn't survive in Lexington. But I went to Lexington because of Gatewood. So I was trying to impress him. I've been talking to him for half an hour, and he was listening to me, and he's kind of feeling me out, seeing where I was coming from, what I was talking about. And eventually he kind of leaned back, and he was like, well, I've been talking with you, and you seem like a cool guy. I'm about to, me and my friends, we were about to head on over to Perkins, so I don't know what you're up to, but if you want to go ahead and get a ride, smoke a joint on the way there, and get something to eat at Perkins, you're more than welcome. And then I was like, fuck yeah! Hell yeah, I will do that. And so, that's what we did when we went for the car ride. I got in the car. Right before he got in the car, I was like, man, it smells nice. And he was like, oh yeah, there's a police officer he was talking to that had smelled the marijuana smoke coming out of his car. And I asked him, or he said that when the cop had smelled the smoke, that the cop said, get tough with Gatewood and says, I can arrest you for that. And Gatewood said, all right, then do it. And the cop was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And he walked away. So, for some reason, Gatewood was allowed to smoke pot. The police knew he was a lawyer. I guess speaking truth to power, people did like him enough that he was a unique voice. Something else on the way there, he had like 2 rules. Don't smoke weed on the intersection. So when you're at an intersection of traffic, you got the cameras and you also got people on the side, so always keep it down. You don't want it to be above the window, but you knew that one. But the intersection, don't ever smoke at the intersection. That's a Gatewood rule. And to keep your joint below the windows. Pass it below the windows so nobody can see. So yeah, Gatewood was the last free man in America, last honest man in Kentucky. Last free man. That is one free man who doesn't mind smoking pot so openly and so out there, even though he knew that it could chance, the law board could have took his law license away. He even got arrested for stopping that parade. So there's several times he put his own career in jeopardy to make a point for the people. And just none of them worked. None of them stuck. And I blame the media. Dude was so fucking cool. The only way that Gatewood didn't look as cool as what he was in person is if the media talked a bunch of shit about him. And that's pretty much what the media does. So that's my Gatewood story. I told him it was pretty cool that I just met him, and he was like a hero of mine, and then he was real chill. He smoked a joint with me, some good shit too. It was some real good shit. I remember coughing up a storm just with the first puff, and it was a whole joint. So that was cool. Actually, he said Willie Nelson was the person who taught him to be humble. In order to be humble, he said that it's disarming when you see a celebrity, somebody that's high above, or you would think is would have an ego, and when they're humble with you and when they're legit and they're honest with you, people are so disarmed with that you actually get more fanfare from that. And I believe that to be true, because that's how I felt with him. I was like, my God, here's a celebrity, and he was like being chill with me, just kicking with me. Even bought my meal at Perkins, paid for the meal and everything. So, I mean, put me up, paid for my meal. Gatewood Galbraith. R.I.P. man, 62 years old. Kentucky's definitely lost something huge.
I certainly haven't intended to do anything wrong either.
No, you're home. You're in a house, a mansion, okay? And you're warm and you're comfortable. There's nothing about homeless. It's not part of this hypothetical. This is my hypothetical. You can't change my hypothetical. And Nicole protesting. She's out in the cold protesting. I didn't say why she was out there. I didn't say because of her, she was down in her luck or something. I said she was protesting. So she was like, suburban motherfucker going out there saying, rah, rah, rah.
I mean, how do you respond to that?
Calling it a day.
We are come up with the very best deal for the city that we possibly can.